And because, the NFL, as it's filled with a bunch of traditionalists.
Yes.
And you have the old guard, and they want the old way to stay supreme and to reign. They don't want it to be challenged by new ideologies, new innovations, a different way of doing things. Because if that succeeds, then their traditionalist, paradigm will be threatened. And that's where it stems from. Because remember, Chip Kelly, and there's so much envy and jealousy for Chip Kelly. He didn't have to pay the so-called dues like the other coaches.
Are you listening?
Niners!
Every day you get a little bit of 49er news, and then you get a little bit of everything going on in the NFL. It's not enough. Before we were complaining about bring football season on, and now I can't get enough. BSPN, a little bit, mostly of what I don't want to hear, but the NFL Network is the most shameless. NFL Network, and I'm not complaining about anything in particular. I'm saying, don't make promises you're not going to keep. NFL Network. Last week, 16 hours of live coverage on the NFL camps. All 32 teams, right? No. 16 hours. It's going to be 14 hours. It's going to be divided up between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. Am I right? Is that mostly what they focused on? I mean, who doesn't know about Odell Beckham Jr. and Janoris Jenkins, that collision they had? No hands, right? We heard about that how many times? And worse than that, Diva Beckham Jr., he goes down in a heap, leaves the field. Of course, everybody first, as your people are watching the stadium, everybody, and Beckham Jr. played it out. Boy, got up. Oh man, I'm Odell Beckham Jr. I can't. Nothing can happen to me. He limps off the field, and he's gone for a long time, and he comes back later. Everybody, yay! We created that monster, so now we got to live with it. Oh. They do spend a little bit of time with the Los Angeles Rams. After all, the Los Angeles Rams made fool of themselves, traded away all their future assets for one Jared Goff, and now it seems maybe Goff will not be starting the season off. You see, this is the boneheaded mistakes that Jeff has been famous for a very, very long time, and yet he still has a job in LA. But it's going to be tough. If they don't start Goff, they can't fight the local boy makes good, comes back to the Bay Area in his NFL debut to face the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to start him. And if they do, local boy will not be making good that night. I'm telling you right now, no, he will not. Speaking of quarterback situations, though, Colin Kaepernick, Blaine Gabbert. We don't know what's going on. You get a little biased report from this reporter, another biased report from this reporter, another biased reporter from this reporter. So, ends up, Chip Kelly's had about enough of people asking him questions, right? So Chip says the other day, listen, the guys they both look good in camp, all right? Right now, they're making great throws, they're doing everything right. But they've got those red shirts on that says, don't touch me. So, of course, there's no way for Chip to make any kind of a judgment right now as to who's his quarterback. He's getting pressured to tell everybody right now, but he won't do it. So we gotta wait. And Chip says, I wanna see what they look like under fire. So that means first preseason game, maybe an evaluation will be made then, and he'll pick his quarterback. Don't know. There you go. And then, as we go down the list of hot items, we got DeAndre Smelter. They found a pulse. DeAndre Smelter looked good the other day in camp. I said, yes, because ideally, what I want is Smelter. I want Rodgers. I want Smith. No, I ain't picking on Patton and Ellington, because I figured Ellington's still going to win that slot position. But those long, tall, strong bodies, that is what makes for a better target, and they can beat the defender better. What? But if it doesn't happen, okay. Anyway, there are certain formations when 5 receivers are sent out anyway. So let's have that, and then we can get some more people involved. That wide receiver competition is still raging, and there's been no decisions made, except all of a sudden Jerome Simpson came out of nowhere and is looking good. Now here's the thing about Jerome Simpson. I read some further on him. Jerome Simpson is notorious for looking good in camp, and then he fades during the games, and we saw that last year. Don't know. The other hilarity, Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead is behaving like even in Chip Kelly's system, things are moving too slow for him. Hilarious moment. I couldn't stop laughing. Eric Armstead, apparently he was scrimmaging. Eric Armstead blasts through the offensive line and accidentally runs into Carlos Hyde, throwing him into the turf. Hyde, of course, gets up. Hey, what's up, man? Anytime this kind of contact. Eric has to apologize. He goes back to his side of the line of the scrimmage, but he's still in the backfield constantly. You know what worries me about that? If Eric is in that backfield, you can't get excited about it. That means our offensive line is slipping. This is that time of year. If your offense is doing real well versus your defense, you don't want either one to really do well. You're excited about it, but you worry about the side that's getting beat. Hurry up. Hurry up with the preseason games. We don't want our guys abusing each other. So, and just like a heavyweight fight, Trent Brown is back in camp and he's looking good. That old school training he was doing, pushing his SUV around the neighborhood, it has made a difference. The standoff. It was like the Hulk versus a thing. Trent Brown versus Eric Armstead. They line up together. Hut, 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 hut. They say it was a standoff. Those two get pumped up, I understand. Every time they make a play on the field, they get up for it. So there you go. I'm telling you right now, man, it's getting hot. It's getting hot in camp. It's going to involve. The guys are still sore from that padded practice yesterday, so we've got to wait another day. Oh, but let me tell you about something that's coming up. The Niner Empire organization has a huge party coming up, and it's black tie, but change the black tie to red and gold theme for this particular party. It's a formal affair in celebration of, since 2006, the Niner Empire organization has been the reason why those awesome tailgate parties were out at Candlestick and now have moved to Levi Stadium. There is a celebration, and they've done so many other things. There is a celebration going on in San Francisco, downtown. Well, actually, Broadway is in the heart of San Francisco, not downtown. You know what? Broadway is the heart of San Francisco. Let me give you the address, 447 Broadway, San Francisco. This party is going to be raging hot. You're going to need to make a reservation. Go to my app. I got all the information for you right there, the Ronbo Sports app, or go to theninerempire.com for further details on this party. You're going to have to make a reservation if you're going to get into this party. It's August the 13th. You've got to act now. You're going to meet all kind of people there, including some ex-49er stars are going to be at this party, I understand. And also, the DJ's being brought in from Vegas. Talk about a party that's going to be jamming. This is a party you do not want to miss. You've been told.
Ronbo!
Yo!
Did you see Heath Ellitt's projection for the 49ers this season?
Yeah, I did.
The hell is his problem?
I wish I knew.
Can I give him a shout out right quick?
Oh, you be my guest? Yeah.
Heath, that you got your ass handed to you by the 49ers your whole career is just football, fool. That you were on the IR during your one Super Bowl appearance ain't our fault, biatch. Drop the mic. I'm out.
I see what you did, Heath. You went and pissed the MC off. See that? Oh, man. Don't get me started on Heath. Anyway, let's move on. I've got a guess. It's very interesting. I've got a guess who believes that there is in progress a plot to destroy Chip Kelly's career in the NFL. Let's go check that out. Fam, I have found a 49er fan all the way out in Yokohama. But remember, his name is Amani. Amani's from LA, but it has not diluted his love for the San Francisco 49ers. Amani, hello.
Hello. All right. Let's welcome to the Ronbo Sports Show.
Thank you. Now, Amani, you have some very interesting insights. When I talk like this, people always get on my case about, please chill out, man. You always got these imagination running crazy. You have some insights on what clearly looks like a sabotage of Chip Kelly's whole career in the NFL, and it's not warranted. We're talking about a guy who came in the first 2 years and still has a winning record to this day. So I agree. What do you think? What are some of the reasons why you believe that there's a real character assassination going on of Chip Kelly?
Well, let's first start off by getting into the root of the root cause and motivations for the nationwide media mandate with this anti-chip energy that they're pumping into the ethers. And basically they're building a false narrative. And they want the public to, fall victim to their sorcery without doing any analysis to confirm whether or not what they're saying is valid. And once you dig deep and do an analysis, it's comical. You see, so then you'll discover that, wait a second, something's going on here that we should look deeply and really consider here. And it deals with the fear. And because, the NFL, as you know, is filled with a bunch of traditionalists.
Yes.
And you have the old guard, and they want the old way to stay supreme and to reign. They don't want it to be challenged by new ideologies, new innovations, a different way of doing things, because if that succeeds, then their traditionalist, paradigm will be threatened. And that's where it stems from. Because remember, Chip Kelly, and there's so much envy and jealousy for Chip Kelly. He didn't have to pay the so-called dues like the other coaches. He didn't have to start out as an assistant coach, and work his way up through the ladder, right? He didn't have to do that. And that they don't like that. And so when you start looking at the facts, and what they're saying is motivated by fear, and their worst nightmare is Chip succeeding. And now they know that he's on the verge of succeeding. They are going, no holds bar into pumping into the ethers. Oh, he's not going to succeed. Or, Gabbard's going to be his quarterback. Because that's their fantasy. They would love that, because then they know that the 49ers will not win ball games with Gabbard. And so Chip Kelly will be the target of assaults, and they'll come out of the woodwork. See, I told you, he's a college quarterback. He doesn't belong in our league. And no, but Chip's not stupid, because right now, Chip has his Ferrari, which he never had. He succeeded with 1969. I don't know if you're familiar with the old Pinto cars. Remember the Pintos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The lemon, yes.
Yeah, so he had Pintos during his entire, stay in the NFL.
Yeah.
Horrible quarterbacks, D+, C- quarterbacks, and remember, they all had career years. Foles, career year. Sanchez, his best career numbers under Chip's system. And Bradford, a career year. Not only the quarterbacks in 2013, the running back, LaShawn McCoy, had a career year with over 1,600 yards rushing. He was the number one leading rusher in 2013. The same year, Deshaun Jackson, the wide receiver, had over 1,200 yards, his best career year to date, which he will never match again. Riley Cooper, the number 2 target in 2013, also had a career year with over 800 yards in receiving.
True.
Now, let's get into the numbers. Let's get into the facts here. And what are some of the evidence? What's the evidence out there where they say, well, Amani, what's your evidence? Why would you say the media's after him? Okay, remember when he got fired on December 30th, ESPN show First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. What did Stephen A. Smith say? I can't believe it. And yeah, when he was hired 2 weeks later, I can't believe it. How can Chip Kelly within 2 weeks get a job?
I do remember that.
Remember
From
that?
Day one. Yes. Yeah.
And then, but before he got the job, what did he say? He said, "Oh, well, Chip Kelly needs to get out of our league. No one's gonna hire him. No one's gonna hire him." So they may have been some sort of on a minor level, blackballing on a minor level, right? That's possible. Where teams stayed away from Chip. Remember, there was an article where the Tennessee Titans GM, what did they say? Oh, toxic. Chip Kelly's toxic. And if you notice, all that negative information started coming out from the players about Chip Kelly. Oh, he blew everything. He was horrible with people. He has no emotional intelligence. All of this started coming out right when they fired him to try to maybe ensure that he won't get a job. That could have been a big game plan, right?
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. But you notice right when he got fired, all the negative information came out, right?
Yeah. But Amani, I just want to stop you there for a second. Here's the thing. Chip Kelly innovates a new style. And, well, hurry-up offense has been around, but not to the degree of success that Chip Kelly's had.
Indeed, yes.
Now, why? It would seem baseball is dying because it needs some changes. The
Yes.
NBA has some things. The NBA alters rules and regulations every year just to keep the game updated. Why would the NFL, I understand the football purist attitude and all that type of thing, but why would the NFL want to hold steady somewhere? I mean, because if it gets around the league that Chip Kelly football is successful, you probably have 2 or 3 teams, maybe, as you say, because it's a disease as they look at it. It could go around the league. You have 2 or 3 teams playing that hurry-up style of football. I'm trying to understand, where's the danger involved?
Well, the danger is we know that the NFL is a copycat league, like most other leagues, right? It's a copycat league. But this is interesting. They can't really duplicate Chip's system. Remember, when he was at Oregon, he dominated. Remember, he came from the Continental Conference, New Hampshire, a nickel and dime conference.
Sure.
But he had a system that Chip Kelly. Let me put this into the ethers. Chip Kelly was so mesmerizing that at one point John Gruden considered quitting his reporting job to work with Chip as an assistant.
Now that's high praise.
John Gruden was going to quit what he was doing because he was so interested in how Chip Kelly was doing things. He was actually going to spend a year as his assistant. That's the kind of guy we're talking about. Okay, now on the college level, although you had many other programs running spread, running up pace, but they could not really 100% implement Chip's system. And on the NFL level, they won't be able to copy it. You know why?
Yeah, look.
Because NFL level are filled with millionaire, hard-headed, not changing players. Remember, they're not going to buy in. During his whole stint in Philadelphia, they never bought in, and he still won.
Yeah.
Remember the first year, that D-level cornerback, Kerry Williams, complaining, he got us running full practices on Saturday. That's why we don't have enough energy on Sundays. They're going to complain so they know they won't be able to copy it because they won't be able to get their veterans or high-money players to fully buy in. He's in a perfect situation now.
Yes.
Because he has young players who have something to prove, who are hungry. Because now their life depends on it.
Yes.
Because, they're not given a chance. They're left for dead. The medium is saying, there's no talent on this team.
Yeah.
They got unproven players.
Yeah.
There are no stars on this team. And so these players know that this is their last rodeo. It's their last opportunity to make an imprint for their future careers. So they know they have a coach now whose offense could put them into position to have career years. That's the track record. So people are who they are. And he was 46-7 in college. He was 26-20 in NFL. Now remember, he left games on the table. 2014, he should have been 12-4 because in San Francisco beat him 26-24. But had he had an 8 quarterback when they were driving with 50 seconds left, Nick Foles couldn't get in the end zone. Imagine if he had a running quarterback. Yeah. They could have scored and should have beat San Francisco. They should have beat Arizona that year when they went up by 3 points with 50 seconds left. But the defense let them down, and they actually left 2 games on the table last year. Even last year, through all that ugliness, the Washington Redskins game, a missed extra point and a missed field goal. That's 4 points. They should have won that game. The Miami Dolphins game, Sanchez turned into himself. He threw that pick. They should have won that game. So he actually should have been 8-7.
It's an amazing turn of events. You know what, Amani? That also puts in perspective, Chip Kelly cannot have players over 3. You know what this means? After rookie contracts are ran out, you need to take in all your players and get psych evaluations. See if they're still with the program. I mean, he cannot walk into a veteran situation, which is pretty much everybody realizes that now, after he's been in the league for as long as he has been. What do you do? And these are players, 49ers are the ideal situation, as you pointed out, because they're growing up. We're coming up through the ranks with Chip Kelly. They may think there's no coach better than Chip Kelly at some point. That guy stays with the team. When you look at guys like Navarro Bowman and Joe Staley, who just want to play, they're very cooperative. I guess for some reason they believe and trust in Kelly, because you're talking about a veteran here who knows the game. But all those young guys that they're bringing along, and you got Armstead, Buckner, who've already came through Chip Kelly's system through college. This is the ideal situation. I like how you pointed that out, because that's exactly where I'm thinking too. While everybody's calling for a 2-14 season, I think, you know what, this is... Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Reflect on that a little bit. About the record, we're predicted to beat nobody. What are your feelings on that?
Okay, well, I looked at the schedule very closely and did it. I always do my analysis. And right now, at a minimum, I have us going 11-5, but we can easily go 13-3. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Please.
I'm gonna break it down. Now, remember, in 2013, Chip Kelly had the number 2 overall offense in 2013. Denver was number 1. That's when Manning had that career year, 55 TDs, over 5,000 yards passing. But in 2013, Philly led the league in rushing. They were number 1 running team, number 2 offense overall. Why did they have that much of an impact? And they led the league in the biggest impact plays over 20 yards. They were number 1. The reason they had that, the formula was they had Deshaun Jackson, who could blow the top off of the defense, where the safeties and the cornerbacks couldn't play up, right? They had to honor that speed. And so then that left the running lanes open, and they had the elusive running back in LaShawn McCoy. Yeah. Now, 2014, they didn't have the speed. I mean, they had Macklin, but Macklin's not a Deshaun Jackson, okay? And so they were the 5th overall offense in 2014. 2015, through all that ugliness, they were the 12th ranked overall offense, right? And they always say, oh, they're figuring out Chip's system. They can figure out Chip's system. Well, wait a second. In 2013, do they say that about Coach Fisher of the Rams? Do they say,
I was getting ready to get to him. Go ahead.
Yeah, Fisher shouldn't be in the NFL. They figured him out. Well, in 2013, the Rams had the 30th offense. In 2014, they were ranked 28th. In 2015, they were ranked 32nd. But you don't hear them saying, oh, they figured out
Jeff
you know,
Fisher's.
Jeff Fisher's offense. He doesn't belong in the league. He doesn't belong in our league. You don't hear him saying that, do you?
No.
Now, so he has the same formula as he had in 2013. He has the speed at the wide receiver position to blow the top off of a defense. Torrey Smith, 4-3 guy. Ellington, a 4-3 guy. So he has the speed now. Not only that, he has the best running back he'll ever have. It's Carlos Hyde, who's perfect for the zone read, shotgun run. That's who he is.
He did it in Ohio State. That's what he did.
Exactly. And the number one thing, he has his Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
Kaepernick. Now, see, the media never liked Kaepernick's attitude, and that's why they kind of bury him now. But Kaepernick is a winning quarterback. He has the winning pedigree. His record is 31-22, a 585 winning percentage. He won big games against the most dominant NFC teams in their stadium. Green Bay, he's 4-2. He beat Carolina in a playoff game in Carolina. Now they beat Seattle in San Francisco. They should have beat Seattle in that 2014 conference game. The play calling by Harbaugh cost him that game.
And the Super Bowl. That was Harbaugh's call in the Super Bowl.
And the Super Bowl. And now, Cap is 31-22. Jim Harbaugh left games on the table. He should have at least 3 more wins. Remember that game against San Diego when he had that 96-yard run TD, and they were up like 35-10.
Should have won that
remember?
One. Yeah.
And what did Jim Harbaugh do? He tried to sit on the damn clock and play ball, control. And San Diego came back and won the game. That was another victory Cap should have had on his record. So now he's going to be successful because he has all of that in place. A championship A-level quarterback who's been there, won big games. Dominate. Cap will dominate a defense. They can't game plan for Kaepernick. No one can game plan. There's nothing wrong with him. He just bought into the traditionalist expectations of trying to make him a pocket quarterback. And remember when he took throwing lessons from Kurt Warner?
Yeah.
He never needed to do that crap. People saying, "Oh, Cap, you got to do this. Oh, you got to do that." That was the problem. If you know, in the shotgun formation, when he's free to be himself, he has a 7-16 winning percentage. But as soon as you put him in a shotgun to make him a traditional type quarterback, you take away his assets. Of course, it's not going to be the same, and that's what Harbaugh did.
Yeah.
But now he has the ideal quarterback. That's a Chip guy. Remember, if the timing was right, Chip would have drafted him in Oregon.
Yeah. And he wanted.
That's his kind of guy.
And he wanted
Mariota.
And he wanted Mariota, exactly.
Mariota.
Yeah. So
that's his Mariota with a stronger arm, who's more physically dominating. That's his Mariota with the championship pedigree. So no, they're gonna dominate. Week 1, they play the Rams at home. Jeff Fisher matching wits with Chip Kelly is not a contest. He can't match wits with Chip Kelly because the game plan is you stop Todd Gurley, you put points on the board. As soon as you score points, you take away the Rams' strength. Their running game, you make them one-dimensional. A passing game, they're gonna lose.
Let me ask you because we gotta finish up here. From that matching wits, what is it going to be like when we play the Patriots? Is that going to be a masterpiece, or how are you feeling about that now?
They remember pedigree. Have you been there before? Last year, through all that turmoil with Philly, he went out there and beat Bill Belichick Patriots, blew them out. Remember, a D+, C- quarterback. Players who weren't bought into his system, they mutinied against Chip Kelly. If you notice, the game they lost to Detroit, to Tampa Bay, that's when they mutinied and gave up. We ain't playing for him. If you look at the film, them defensive players were not tackling, and there was something going on. So they didn't bought in, and at that point they said, Kelly, he's getting out of here. He's not going to be. That was their game plan, was to kick him out, and they gave up and they mutinied the ship. That's what happened. But he beat the Patriots with the team that wasn't fully bought in, didn't have the talent. or the pedigree players that he has now in San Francisco. Okay, so no, and not only that, Cap beat the Patriots. Navarro Bowman was there when they beat the Patriots. Eric Reed was there when they beat the Patriots. So Joe Staley was there when they beat the Patriots.
I remember it well.
So they've been there, they've done that.
Yeah.
And so and they have them at home. And at that time, they're going to have everything in. No, they're favored in that game. Now, but this is the key. The second game against Carolina, the third game at the 12s. That's the key. They got to either split. Now, if you look at the Carolina game, Chip Kelly matches up well with Carolina. They beat them 45-20 in 2014. They actually could have beat them last year, but they had 8 drops in that game. Yeah. Remember that? They had 8 drops with the C- quarterback. Kaepernick beat Carolina in a playoff game. Yeah. So they've been there, they've done that. So that's going to be an evenly fair match. They can beat them, but they got to either beat Carolina or beat Seattle.
And I'm choosing beat Seattle and see Carolina in the playoffs. That would be for me. That's my ideal situation right there.
Right, but see, Carolina's going to have problems. They don't have the Josh Norman. Yeah. The secondary's weak, and with our speed receivers and our physical guys, okay, and Kaepernick's running dominance, right? And that remember that whole zone read mesh point different now because yes, you know it's coming, but you can't stop it. Now you got Cap. Yeah. So when Cap reads that defensive end is going to crash in on Carlos Hyde, he's going to hit that corner. He's going to hit that corner.
And the bottom line is, for the first time in his NFL career, Chip Kelly will have all the tools to implement his program to make it work exactly like it's supposed to.
You know, I use this analogy, Ronbo, because remember, the reason they hired Chip Kelly, Chip went in there, gave him a presentation, and told him how everything's going to break down. But you know, this is going to benefit Trent Baalke. Because see, Baalke knows that everybody's going in because of his draft picks, 2013, 2014, 2015. All that talent could never shine under Tom Sula. Tom Sula, that garbage offense was pitiful. But now, all those picks that Trent Baalke had, now that talent's going to rise above the surface under Chip Kelly's system, and Trent Baalke is going to look like a genius now.
Got to get you to holler before we go, bro. Are you ready, Amani? You're at Levi Stadium. 3, 2, 1.
Niners!
He's been wanting to do that for a long time, I can tell.
Yes!
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It's food for thought. Thank you, Amani. Amani, come back this weekend, man. I love your football way of talking. You already got the app. Everything's set up for you. And also, if this is the first time you watch the Ronbo Sports production, first I want to thank you for watching. If indeed, I want to invite you right now as well. Sunday, those fan get-togethers are so much fun. As we get closer to the season, they're going to heat up. All you need to do, if you want to join, I encourage you, get the Ronbo Sports app. I will put on that app all the information you need and details as to how you can get involved with the meeting, as well as, endless things. I'm talking about information on the 49ers and news. I get on that stuff on a daily basis. I put a spin on it and I throw it out there because I'm reaching, because I want your reaction. I can talk football all day long, and you know this. You can pick up the app at the App Store or Google Play Store. It's just that easy, and you will be also in collaboration with the Niner Empire organization. Soon, we are going to be getting together. This is the marriage that's going to provide you with prizes. I'm talking about vacations. I'm talking about discount tickets, and more and more and more and more, too numerous to mention right now. There you go. And listen, I hope to see you Sunday. And between now and then, wait.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the second installment.
Oh, this you crazy mother.